Break one down. It's your boy Chicken on the line. Welcome back to Chicken Joe's Road Show. Tonight's completely unplanned. I have no idea what's going on. Let's get started. Welcome back to Chicken Joe's Road Show. Appreciate y'all coming back. So tonight, I really don't have a complete plan for this episode. In all honesty, kind of got busy with a project that I'm going to talk about here in a minute. And completely forgot to look into something for today. So, start this whole thing out. I went and got me a new project because that's what I need. I need something else to work on. So, I was looking through Marketplace last night, and, because that's the thing that you have to do. You have to look for, garbage on Marketplace that you can't afford, and because you think most of it you can't afford, and then you sit there and you're like, oh, I can actually buy that. Huh, interesting. I want it. So, I was sitting there, and this old dude had it's a 77 Dodge Aspen. He had it listed as 72. I'm like, that don't sound right. So I did some looking, they didn't start making them till 76. I'm like, okay. So, probably doesn't really know what he has. So, go out there, got off work today and went out and took a gander at it. And, they just drug it out of, the woods. He's trying to clean up some land, and, all right, cool, this dude had some really cool stuff out there. There was a 1975 Pontiac Grand Prix, back when they were still a land barge, with a big block Pontiac in it. Like, oh, I wanted that car. Had a old Dodge truck out there, tin grill. It was a special edition. Like, okay, this thing's sick. A Buick Electra 225 with a big block 455 Buick. I'm like, oh, this is cool. But what I'm going after is a 77, turned out, Dodge Aspen in the worst color green you can imagine. It's got a hole in the door. It looks like someone hit it with a forklift. It just went through the outside skin. I mean, the door's done. Other than that, it's got some dents and dings. It really does need a set of doors. Aside from that, all the glass is perfect. The body panels are close. It's a straight car. It's got a few dings here and there, but the hood is perfect. The deck lid's perfect. The roof is perfect. And it's all there. It's all original. And it's 100 and probably 25 or 45, depending on where they were at with the 225 at this point. 100 and something horsepower glory. 225 slant 6, and it's the Super 6, so it's got a 2-barrel. High performance, 2-barrel Carter carburetor. And, it's been sitting since 1997. Car had a clear title, got a smoking deal on it. Ended up taking me and my buddy way longer than I want to admit to get it on the trailer. I got a lot of work to do on it to get it, where I can test drive it. Normally, my rule is don't buy anything that I can't drive out, but I had to make an exception. This thing's cool. When's the last time you saw a 77 Dodge Aspen? It's going to be a really cool project. Like, well, even if it's just getting it running and driving and flipping it, it's going to be a really cool project. The 225 is a classic motor. It's a great 6-cylinder. The slant 6 was amazing. And, it's just a cool car. Kind of looking back and seeing, it's high class. In 77, it had electric rear window defrosters. Now, it doesn't have AC, and it doesn't have power windows or locks, but it does have an electric rear window defroster, so I thought that was pretty cool. So, due to that project coming about and trying to get it drug home, that was a whole interesting thing on itself because we had to load it in the worst way possible, and it was very squirrely and a long way home. And we finally got it home, and I think it's going to be a really cool project. I think it's going to be a really cool car to play with. Oh, also, forgot at the intro of this here video, or this here podcast, we're coming at you from a very nice, cool night here in interior Alaska. It's about 50 degrees outside. It's not too cold. It's not warm. It feels really good outside. It's starting to get dark around here. During the summer, the sun doesn't go down, so coming into winter is kind of a bittersweet thing. Yeah, it's nice to see the sun go down. It's nice to have that dark, a little bit of darkness. It kind of sets you a little straight. Um, and it's also nice to try out some lights that you put on your Jeep and haven't had a chance to try out for, 4 months, 3 months. But, yeah, 24 hours of daylight gets really nice. You get to lose track of time, and it's just a lot of fun. So, but yeah, so I went and picked up the Aspen today, trying to think of a name for it. I got a few things running through my head for it, but not exactly for sure. Go out there and mess with that sometime tomorrow. Uh, I guess something we can kind of touch on. What's the deal with as soon as someone finds out that you're a mechanic, and I'm sure this goes for a lot of trades, anytime someone figures out you can build stuff or work on stuff, then suddenly everything's broke. So, I know this is particularly bad for mechanics. Okay, it doesn't matter what you're doing or where you're at, but you're always going to have one friend that just comes out of nowhere like, hey man, what are you doing this weekend? What do you want, Kyle? Well, my Subaru's doing this, and it's making a weird noise, and it's not doing what it should. Alright, bring it by. Bring it by. Like, alright, when was the last time the head gaskets were done? Wait, what? I did the delete. You did the what? Of course, Alright, I was about to say that, yeah, of course that was a joke, but, I've seen, I've seen just as bad. You'll have that kind of stuff. If you know how to work on stuff, you're always gonna have that one friend like, hey, my car's making this sound, or I'm leaking something. I don't know where it's coming from, or it just don't seem like it has the same power, or whenever every now and then my radio won't work and my dome light won't work and my transmission starts shifting funny. What? How does that work? Turns out that's a Ford thing. A good friend of mine, he's also a mechanic, but, he's got a 92 or 93. I can never remember, and it makes him so mad that I can never remember what year his truck is. But it's either a 92 or a 93 Ford F-250, and this was a recurring problem. Every time we'd have to take the radio out to look at something, it would blow a fuse, and then the dome light wouldn't work, and then the transmission would start shifting weird. Because Ford thought it was a great idea to put a circuit on the transmission control module on the same circuit as the dome light and the radio. Because why would that not be a bad idea? Why is that a thing that everyone else doesn't do? Well, maybe because it's a horrible idea. And you just run into the weirdest problems, and some of them are pretty entertaining, and some of them are just like, dude, your headlight's bad. Like, yeah, you come over. Hey, you'll have a guy come over, and he's like, yeah, my lights aren't coming on. Like, did you put a bulb in it? He's like, well, I thought about that. I just don't know how. I'm like, how do you not know how to put a headlight in? It's not that hard, University of YouTube's a good thing. Like everyone talks about YouTube mechanics. Take this from someone that I've wrenched my whole life. I've been a career mechanic for the past 2016. I started doing some wrenching. I worked at a wrecking yard, and then from there, I've actually made it into a job. I actually fix things, and I can't tell you how many times that I'm just sitting there. I'm like, how does this even work? And I pull up on YouTube like this model, this motor, it's not doing this. And it goes into how it works, and I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, cool. Everyone talks about YouTube mechanics. As long as you have an idea of what things are, and you can use that to kind of see a different perspective of things and kind of see a breakdown of it without you having to tear yours up, YouTube is a very valuable tool. And before you go in on that, a lot of doctors, like actual medical doctors, right? They use Google for a good few things because you can't remember everything. Like, yeah, you remember a lot of things, like, fire and order for a small block Chevy, 1-843-6572. Yes, you can remember stuff like that. But when there's times you forget which way a distributor turns. Like, it happens. It's like the little things that you don't really think about all that often. It's just like, it's just kind of, it works, Yeah, you're sitting there and it's like, how does this go together? Or how did I take this apart? Like, why did I take this apart? Especially when you have like a half a dozen different projects going on at the same time. And a couple back home. It's like it all starts to run together. It's like, wait, was this the one that I had to head off of for this reason, or is this the one that I had, hey, who knows? And then you have to figure it all right back out, and it just gets really confusing sometimes. And like I said, I'm sure it's like that with every trade, I could especially see with like plumbers and electricians working on houses all the time. I could absolutely see where that would be a thing. Like, you go to all these different houses, and you're like, is this the one that had the toilet leak, or is this the one that the sink was not working correctly, or is this the one that wasn't draining, or is this the one that you would turn the bathroom sink on, or you would turn the bathroom light on, and then the ceiling fan in the living room would come on? Like, hey, I could see where that would be a thing. I know it is for vehicles. I can only imagine for the rest of the trades. So you're sitting here and you're looking at something that's like, that's an interesting problem. Like that generator I was talking about on yesterday's episode. Somehow someone made a 4BT Cummins throw a rod. I still have no idea how they made that happen, because it's on shutoffs for oil, so it didn't run out of oil. And it's a generator, so it can't wind out too tight. It would have had to have been a manufacturer's defect, but at the same time, it's like, that's just impressive. You throw a rod in not only a generator, but a Cummins generator. That every now and then you'll just have one of them things. It's like, how did you even manage to pull this off? How did you break it that bad and that way for what you're doing with it? A lot of trucks I work on, there's a lot of people that I've never drove anything bigger than a Prius, or a Camry or something, that are driving trucks, diesel trucks. And I look at some of the things that break or some of the accidents that come in, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not happy about it, and I'm not happy about having to fix it. But at the same time, that's impressive. I haven't seen one broke like that. And you'll have that a lot. It just comes in waves. So carrying on with that, you know what? Not carrying on from that, because I completely lost my train of thought of where I was going with any of that. You know what? Let's just end this off with a rant that has to be said, because it is 2022 and people still can't get it figured out. What is the deal with avocados? Can someone explain to me what the deal is with avocados? Okay, yeah, they make guacamole. Cool. Hey, a good guacamole I can go for every now and then. I've started getting a taste for it. Alright, cool, got it. But what is the deal with avocado in general? It tastes like you go out and you mow wet grass, and then you eat the wet grass that you just cut. It's not good. It's really way too dense. It's slimy, and it tastes like wet grass. And there's the big old pit in it, the seed or whatever it is from the avocado. And it's like, okay, that takes up most of the avocado. Or at least a good chunk of the avocado. It's like, what is the point of an avocado? Never have understood that. I don't really get avocados. Aside from the old vine, you got to have that free avocado. But, I don't understand avocados. So there's a rant, a very quick rant, but yet a rant on avocados. Because I do not approve of them. I do not like them. I don't understand why they exist, especially to put on toast. No. Avocados do not go on toast, yet pineapple does go on pizza. And if you think I'm wrong, then, well, you're in the wrong place. I hate to tell you, you're in the wrong place. But I'm not really out of time tonight, but I am out of stuff to talk about. Like I said, this was completely unplanned. I completely forgot to think of anything to talk about tonight. I didn't really come up with any topic in particular. So we're just going to roll with what we got. This was a kind of random episode. It'll happen sometimes. You'll have that on these bigger jobs. So yeah, we'll just end it off there. I appreciate y'all listening. And if you have any opinions on, avocados, pineapple on pizza, there's one correct answer. Know it, live it, understand it. And, garbage dodge cars, because that's a thing that happens. Or just any project in general. If you have anything interesting, leave me a comment. Shoot me a message. Something. Let me know. I'd like to hear it. But, on that note, I'm going to end it off. This has kind of been a shorter one. Kind of a random one. For absolutely no reason whatsoever. I will catch y'all on the next trip. Y'all be safe. Keep the shiny side up. See ya.